really high. Even just like when you run it, it's one of the boons of running an offlane Puck is that just with levels, even if you don't have the best farm, Puck actually deals a lot of damage pretty much every game. If he can get a blink dagger, when you play offlane Puck, you generally don't go Veil. I think it's too greedy. Just get the blink. Then 15 to 20 minutes in, if that's when you get your blink, if you have a hard game, you start outputting a lot. Then they also have, obviously, the Nyx support is one of the higher damage supports, and Visage is probably the highest almost in this patch, so I think damage will not be the biggest problem for Newbee, actually. Let's look at some predictions here.
Yeah, we could do that quickly for people. Player with the longest kill streak.
I'm feeling the Medusa here, actually. I think he's going to have the best game out of anyone. It's hard to call, actually.
I'm feeling the Weaver in this game.
There's many heroes that could... Yep, go ahead.
Yeah.
First triple kill.
I'm also thinking the Weaver. I think he's going to play it around. The CK is probably the better one to go for.
I think I'm taking CK. He's going to have one good team fight where he really gets things going.
Savage.
Oh, Solo's in a really interesting position here in his Disruptor, by the way. Just a side note while we're doing the important predictions.
Yeah.
First tower, I'm going to go with...
it's the time of destruction.
11 to 14, it might actually be pretty late this game.
You've got a DK though, so it should be 8 to 11 with a DK up.
I think Medusa will defend it though. I'm going to go 11 to 14. Last player to be killed. That's the first death of the last player who dies, not the last kill of the game.
Yeah. This is always a rando.
Yeah, that's pretty random. I'll do Medusa. We'll see.
Yeah, Medusa is the safe pick for that one. All right, and focus on our lanes. Pasha is all the way down south. He's going to be doing the creep skipping, and Mookie and Faith will have to try and stop him, so they're going to run the safe lane with the Visage as well as the Weaver. Solo looking for his Courier snipe with the Observer Ward down. He might actually get this too. The Courier, in fact, he's guaranteed got it. The Tangos on the Courier are lost. Sniped in mid, so SC won't have that extra regeneration to battle against no one who's playing his DK in mid. Karka's looking to do exactly the same thing, smoked up behind the towers in the mid lane. And, well, he can't really harass the mid while he's sitting here. He's taking too long for this Courier, who's only now just making his little trek out.
This is a really good start for the mid lane for VP. Losing these Tangos might not seem like the biggest deal, but when you're playing 2 Tangos and there's a Disruptor coming in to harass, you're going to struggle. And no one's going to have a way better time. Kaka and Solo laying into each other here.
The bottle is already done for no one. Because he was rushing that. So you got both a salve as well as the bottle.
Oh,
it's Lil who buys it.
Yeah. But the bottle for Dragon Knight isn't far away either. He needs 200 gold. So
I'm wondering at that point if you actually want to expend the bottle charges on no one and just completely outwin the mid lane. Send the Courier back. Lil doesn't need it at the moment.
I think currently he's going to focus on making sure Ramses has a good laning stage. The Puck matchup versus CK is actually very good for Puck because once you get phase shift, you can avoid both of Chaos Knight's spells with good timing. If it's a strict one-on-one, I think this is actually a Puck-favored lane. Fairly hard, so we'll need a little bit of help here against KP's Puck. All in all, that's how Lil has started out. You see him sustaining Ramses nicely, getting good CS, and he is kind of free to leave soon, I think, when Ramses has a little bit more courage here.
CS-wise is actually currently going the way of no one. 12-6 in the mid against the 5-for-2 of SC. But it's the fact that he's still the highest CSer on the board, like across the board as well.
Yeah, that initial harass from Disruptor can't be overstated how important that was. That was really massive for the outcome of this mid lane already. When you're tripling up like this, currently has a double wave more or less running into the tower here, no one as well. So there's going to be more CS lost for SC.
Get better with that 62 points of damage.
I just got brief fired. Yeah, good luck.
Karka has to try and zone him out, but no one's out of mana. Like, he's fine. Like, he'll only bottle up when he has to use his Breathe Fire, which is right now again. Underneath the tower, bottom lane, Pasha in trouble, trying to get away. The Soul Assumption, he's going to get the Weaver bug off him. The Swarm, it does do damage, and I don't know if he's going to kill it in time. He doesn't. He'll die on the cliffside. Mugi was circling around him as the Weaver. So the first off-lane kill. VP were attempting to get KP down a while ago, just burning off Ramsey's initiation. Doesn't work, but for Newbee, it does work against Pasha.
Solo trying for the Courier again. They almost send it out as a ground Courier, and then he would have killed it a second time. But this time it's too tanky. Disruptor needs to hit this Courier 5 times. It's funny to see Solo even trying this, like straight disrespect to your point. How little attention are you guys paying in your mid game?
Hey, at least he's keeping the Nyx Assassin there all the time. Kaka probably was looking to rotate down the bottom lane to kill off Pasha. He's gone for a 1-1 in...
Oh, Pasha could be in trouble. Oh, he got away with it.
Yeah.
If he gets grave chilled here, this can very quickly... It can get nasty very quickly here. He's playing on the edge here with his Batrider. He wants to try to steal the stack that's been made by Newbee. That's one of the things that sometimes teams won't do. Stack their big camp in the safe lane when they're facing Batrider, just because of how easily Batrider can try to snatch that. Oh, he's actually going in here a bit against Faith. This is danger. No, there's no care at this point, so I think he's going to be okay. And this is the exact thing, right? Like now he's going to fly in circles here. Get a lot of nice experience. Probably he even stacked the camp himself. Very nice timing by Pasha here. And this is going to reward him quite a bit. Actually, he didn't have enough damage.
Hey, his Firefly just wore off. He has a sticky napalm up, but that's just a lot of low heroes. And look at Kaka's positioning too. Rotates around the back, says hello to Pasha. Just stole Pasha's bounty rune.
Yep, now he's going to go get his own as well. And yeah, this camp is actually going to heal up to full because there's a big Satyr Tormentor in it. And the 2 Centaur courses that spawn makes it difficult for Pasha to farm that camp with his Batrider. So a little bit of bad luck, I guess, on the RNG on the spawn there. Else he might have been able to clear out at least a bit more of it. So what's happening elsewhere? So Solo has moved to the top lane and has started pulling. He's very low level because of all that harass in mid, but it was well worth it, getting the courier snipe and winning his mid lane for no one. Now he's currently sitting on just level 2 with his Disruptor 5 minutes in, and he needs to pull to get toward that 6, which is really when Disruptor starts becoming a scary hero. KP didn't make it too easy for him, though.
KP's actually been having a pretty damn good time on that off lane. Able to find net worth, able to find experience. And more importantly, like, he's not feeding in towards Ramses. Ramses is one of these players who is so good on the safe lane. He's Mr. Consistency all the time, except normally he's able to find a kill. And you're like, okay, how the hell do you even
it is scary right
that?
now. That's a lot of heroes.
SC, yeah, 4 heroes right on top of him. The shields won't protect him anymore until maybe a little of extra help. Kaka creates space. Mugi diving over to kill off the IO, taking away that regeneration. Pasha and no one focusing in to Kaka underneath the tower. Mugi's not done just yet, however, chasing Solo into the Radiant jungle. He's got a decent run to go, but luckily Shukuchi, high movement speed, and Solo cannot escape from that. Maybe in the trees. No, not gonna happen.
That would be the juke of the century if he got out without boots there. What are you supposed to do?
Absolutely nothing.
So that was a 2 for 2, I believe, right? Was it only a 2 for... No, it was 2 for 2.
It was 2 for 2. It was Aya Disruptor for Medusa and Nyx.
Yeah, so it sounds good on paper for Virtus Pro, but they did use a Dragon form that didn't really do any tower damage.
And they're going to lose more as well. Solo's getting ganked up. KP as well as Kaka teaming up together. Wasn't the cleanest kill. Kaka missed his Impale, and Ramses will maybe punish this in time. Yeah, with Pasha here, he definitely will.
Nice ward placement there just in the end by Nyx, though. I don't think VP would have realized that he got that ward out just before he died. He barely even turned his hero to place that, so this ward he just put in might have full duration. Nice move in the heat of the moment just to get that ward down from Kaka. And now the pressure begins on bottom, so this mid tower is going to be very important in this game, and that's one of the interesting things about this Medusa versus Dragon Knight matchup, is that one of DK's contributions to the game that's very important is taking that tower, but it's so hard to do against Medusa. You really need to make sure you kill Medusa first and overwhelm her and then take that tower, and it's not easy. You saw that attempt VP did before with 4 heroes, and they still got, what was that, 200 damage in total on the tower, which was all by the siege creep.
Yeah.
So it won't be too easy for no one to get that done.
Yeah, Newbee turned it into a team fight more than anything else.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think about, like, the fact that no one takes so much damage and is losing so much mana as well every time SC throws out that Mystic Snake. Mugi, he's very aggressive. No, it's been a while since I've seen a Weaver diving out in the tier 1 towers, and Eternal Envy's not even in this game. Like, so aggressive under, forcing glimpses out very early on, so Disruptor didn't have it for that second time he went for the dive.
It's just it's a very good Weaver game against those 3 heroes. Disruptor, Io, and Batrider don't have the best tools. Later on, Bat will be annoying when he gets the Blink 4 staff with Lasso, but from a laning stage perspective, Mugi knows very well what his limits are, and when you play against VP, putting pressure on them is a very good approach to the game, because else they're going to do it to you. VP is one of those faster-paced teams that want to make the moves, and against them, I think a good offense is the best defense in a lot of cases here. And Newbee are definitely doing what they can. They haven't just been sitting around. They've been moving a lot with their supports. They've been pressuring with their Weaver. And I guess the passive hero they have is Medusa, but I mean, how else are you going to play this hero, really?
All she's going to do is make sure DK has to stay in the mid lane. It almost feels like the opposite way you you look at this mid matchup. The DK is meant to be the one where you want to see the mid rotate off so the DK takes the tower. In this case, if the DK rotates off, SC will more than likely just force into the tower and do considerable amounts of damage.
For sure.
Mugi's going to do the same thing on bottom lane. He's got that early Blight Zone combining up with the treads. The tier 1 tower on bottom lane's already taken chip damage. It's Newbee who are threatening buildings and not the opposite way around. And like, how do you get around that? You want to burn Phantasm? Ramsey just did that to try and attack the top lane, but Kaka is already here. So is KP. They're farming up the small camps behind the tower, and they're still keeping the creep wave away from the tower.
Yeah, VP can't seem to do any big structural damage right now, so I think what they're just going to look for is getting levels on their supports, and they really need it. Both of these supports, this is very uncharacteristic for Virtus Pro. Their supports are both very low level.
Yeah, they're both level 3 compared to the 5 and 4 of Newbee.
Faith is going to crack his 6 in a moment, and VP kind of need 2 tomes right now.
They're rotating. Newbee are going to try and gank up on the top lane, smoke maneuver. Kaka and Mugi together. KP has the Dream Coil, which is probably going to make this work. Ramses has no Phantasm. He burnt it before, and with the orb up, well, it won't be able to connect. KP will get the follow-up silence, and the stun. It connects onto the Dragon Knight as well, but Lil arrives in time, connects himself up with Ramses, giving the much-needed heal and recovery. KP can't even get out. The glimpse is perfect from Solo.
Oh, he's going to get a kill.
Wow. Okay, moment. Sorry, misclick. I don't know if that's a misclick. I'm sorry, Lil, I didn't mean to kill you. But Ramsey gets the revenge, and Puck goes down underneath the tower.
If that was an NA pub, that was not a mistake. That's for sure. That's, like, that's one of those moments. Oh, you guys 4 and 2 to us, or 4 and 3 or whatever, and you were owning us in that fight, and I just got that kill. You're just missing the question mark in all the chat, and then you got the full NA starter kit.
What he really meant to do was use chat wheel to It's a Disaster.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that was a nice play under pressure here from KP. At the end of the day, though, I don't know if Newbee should try to go for these kind of plays onto the CK. They have to know that the IO is on backup or can at least TP in an assist. They need more bursts to bring down Ramsey's Chaos Knight in these situations. You have to probably bring the Visage as well, or at least send up the birds for that gank.
Well, he's only just picked up the birds on the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have that option at the time. I just think that kill was very optimistic, and they got punished for it.
Actually sent the birds into mid lane, passing past no one.
And the CS values of VP are so high. Both the Dragon Knight and
the CK
Chaos Knight are getting very high farm. It's rare that you see 2 heroes having above 80 at 10 minutes or 11 minutes. It's generally one of them, like either this Shadow Fiend mid who's very farm.
Dream Call, they're going again onto Ramses. This time, as you asked him, man, bring in the birds. Phantasm comes off. The birds make a break for the tree line. Mugi also hiding there. The Scarab Swarm just missing on the Puck.
They didn't think they could get a kill here at all. They're
just baiting out Phantasm.
They're forcing rotations. That was not a kill. I think in their mind they were just like, okay, we're gonna go on him, we're gonna force rotation, then we're gonna back out instantly. It looked like they were 100% on the same page. The moment there was any response, both of them just backed out fully. And it's good for them to force this IO around, and especially force the Phantasm, like you said. It's just draining these VP key cooldowns that allow them to play aggressively. It's just buying space on the map for their own heroes to progress their game plan.
Because they got the Familiars also up on top, Ramses is leaving. He's headed towards Faith in the mid lane. No one's up here to defend top lane. Mugi will take this tower.
Oh.
Nothing is actually here to stop it, so they're giving up their safe lane tier 1 tower for no trade-off just yet. Looking for kills. SC's abandoned the mid lane, giving it to Faith because he was busy farming up Ancients. Actually has himself a nice stack to the north part of the tier 1 tower in mid.
Kaka is looking for his level 6 now. Oh, this is a pretty strong invasion here from VP. They're not really going to find anything, though. They're just going for that bottom tier 1, safeguarding it with 5 heroes, more or less.
The Familiar saw Solo. They were chasing around. Ramses had to reality rift one in. And does it make it over the trees? It does not.
Oh, he didn't resummon, actually.
No, he did not. He held on to him.
He's holding on to 1. this trade is pretty good for Newbee overall. They know they're going to lose this tower to the Dragon Knight Dragon form, so they're getting half a tier 2 up top. Mugi is on that. And Disruptor is just here to soak up some experience. So Nyx just found his level 6. This is when Solo's going to die, apparently. That was pretty quick use of that. See ya. And they're going to probably think about keeping up the pressure up here now. They should know that Relocate is not available if they've kept track of Lil's level progression.
They should know that, I suppose it's still only a level 1 Phantasm. They're not going to really be that scared by it.
Ramses has to TP up.
Yeah.
In the fog, and they're probably just going to back out here.
Yeah.
So again, Newbee forcing these rotations. Again, good pressure from them. It's creating a lot of space for Medusa, who, by the way, is going for a very good build in this game. So there's been this arising trend. Wait a second, we should look at top now. Ramses.
Yeah, Dream called up, gonna try and Phantasm his way out of it. The Scarab Swarm's gonna be able to connect. So does the stun onto Kaka, and the crit from Ramses. I think Kaka was ready for that much damage on him. KP doing his TP out. Pasha, he started the lasso, but it did not connect. KP barely making it out by the skin of his teeth.
So VP got a kill on the Nyx, but they rotated 3 heroes and used Phantasm, and I think Newbee are fine with this. Again, it's like the same type of play that we're seeing over and over here, and I think VP are tired of it. Now they want to make their own. If they find SC here, that would be a really big kill.
Yeah,
so
they're actually surrounding him. Pasha, they do actually have a little bit of an early warning system with Pasha running in underneath Kaka's Vendetta. And Pasha, well, he wants to go for more, but right now he's stoned. SC and Kaka can just beat the crap out of him and get a kill. That was meant to go the other way. They do still, however, pick up KP. VP looking to keep the pressure on. SC underneath his own shrine has already been burnt. Kaka, he's got another stun available, can actually hit 3, potentially 4. Solo on the back lines, dying to the swarm. And Mugi, he's now going to join the fray. Lil into the tree lines. The tower's going to be killing him off. Faith now, he's the one under pressure. A 2-second stun is long enough to kill him down. And no one, the pressure from Mugi turns his attention towards ZK on the run, but 2 very, very tanky heroes. They'll need another stun, another control, and they don't have it in range. So Newbee break off the fight after Virtus.pro's very aggressive attack in.
SC was playing that fight very well, I think, on the Medusa. He was the one getting gone on, kept his cool. He had a really good Mystic Snake out that gave him full mana during the Static Storm, and just was not a kill for VP. They couldn't bring him down simply. Got out of there alive. So I wanted to point out his item build here. He's gone for the Yasha that we often see Medusas go for, and then a lot of the times there's this build with Lincoln's Manta that I personally am not a fan of at all. I really like his build this game. He's going to go for the Aghanim Scepter, and the reason he's doing this is how good it is against CK. What the Aghanim Scepter on Medusa does is one of the newest ags in the game. Let's see.
Yeah, found KP, but he got the orb off just as the initiation was happening from Ramses, so had a place to jaunt to.
He's getting it for the CK. So this Mystic Snake Aghanim Scepter upgrade will let the Mystic Snake petrify as well against those illusions. That is incredibly powerful. As I do believe it just one-shots them as this with the same rules as Stone Gaze. I think the Petrify just kills illusions off, unless I'm mistaken. I haven't really seen this in play, but I remember the theory crafting when it came out that was going to be a really good counter to illusion-based heroes.
Well, you get to watch the team fight, and then
Yeah, we'll see if
a
I
definite
remember it
answer.
right. It's not something you see every day. It has been fairly common in mainly the Chinese scene. In their competitive games, there's been a lot of Medusas played compared to the Western scenes, where the hero is way less popular. So this is definitely something they're going to feel very comfortable with. SCC has played this hero many times, and at the same time, VP has probably not played that much against it. So you know, that's like one of those benefits when you have those clashing styles of play or picks sometimes, that one team will have a little bit of an advantage there. Ramses is going to go for Diffusal Blade. Wonder why.
Break free.
He's got a mana burn. Like, they need some sort of mana burn against this last pick Medusa. I think it was a brilliant choice here from Newbee. They also picked it pretty fast. Knew exactly what they wanted when that CK came out.
Just have to make the most out of it. At least they're seeing where the Medusa is farming. They had 2 Observer Wards down. One of them was blocking the Ancient Camp. The Medusa was looking to farm up. Newbee actually had to commit 2 Sentry Wards to find just that one Obs.
You're still just waiting for that moment when VP gets that VP groove going, and they just go from kill to kill and find good fights. But it's not been going too well for them so far. I think we're soon going to see them look for some sort of aggressive smoke, either to try to contest that top tier 1 tower from Newbee, or find them inside their own jungle. Maybe a kill on Medusa would be really big if they could manage, but
Pasha's hunting for it.
Easy.
Like, he's got the Blink Dagger available and now just found a Haste Rune in the bottom river. This is a good way to move forward, but there's also a massive smoked army that Pasha just kept running into. At that kind of speed, he couldn't pull out in time.
That was this observer word down here at the river that saw Pasha pick up the haste. Now it's just an instant go call from Newbee. Bring in their invisible heroes that he can't possibly prepare for. Dream Coil, easy pick.
Yeah, it's meant to be Pasha who was fighting the kill with the Blink Dagger.
Yep.
Newbee, just perfect rotations. Turn it on his head. No one's going to show himself on bottom lane, and that's enough for Mugi to initiate. He's got the support from Kaka, so no one already been beaten up. That's a nice way to slow him down. Yep, Diffuser Blade charge from Weaver. No one out of mana in the relocate. Double stun from Kaka. Io gets picked up instantly into the familiar drops. Ramses will die as well. It started off as a gank on no one. The Virtus Pro brought more meat to the table. Maybe they have another fight. Pasha, in he jumps. He was looking for the lasso, couldn't get it on KP. Spike Carapace, the oldest counter in the book to the Batrider. And what was meant to be one kill turned to two, turned to three, and is now 4 heroes down for Virtus Pro.
They got outplayed really hard there. That's one of the things you can do against this Io is that you start poking and prodding a guy and they're like, okay, I need help, right? He doesn't have mana. He can't get out. The Dragon Knight has to get help or he will eventually get killed because he has no mana to play around with. They try to come in and assist, and then the whole team is there apart from the Medusa from Newbee. Very nicely set up. So not only was that 4 kills, but SCC was free farming the whole time. So here comes his Aghanim Scepter now. Already 19 minutes in, Yasha Ags. It's got to be the highest net worth in the game. Actually, he still isn't. The Dragon Knight's slightly ahead, but he also went for the Midas build. This is, that was a big moment of this game for Newbee. That should put them in a very good position moving forward here as VP lost a lot of steam there.
Yeah, they actually picked up about 4,000 in the experience and almost the same in the net worth advantage shift. Virtus Pro were holding a slight lead at the beginning.
Mid lane, they're thinking about it.
Yeah, but what have you got? You're going to glimpse him back into the wall, turns on that Aghanim Stone Case, and well, 2 seconds on the stun, plus the lasso. They just combined it all up with familiar drops, holding Ramses in position. Let the snake bounce around, petrifying everybody. As Z, he's running low on mana. He will go down. They get the kill, and no one keeping Kaka in control. The Spike Carapace turn around. At least he'll get that stun back. As Batrider got picked, Mugi. They're retreating towards the shrine. It's already been triggered, so that won't help them. But KP's double Dream Coil, that'll do the work with the familiar drops. So much control from Faith and KP. Lil cannot stand up against this, and another double stun. Kaka in the trees, runs it with a Vendetta. He just wants to one-hit down range, but gets hit by the brief fire of no one. Loses too much life. Mugi's just trying to be a man, but Mugi more of a man. Ultra kill up, and he would love it. He'll take it. It's gonna be solo, and along with it, the rampage of Newbee.
13-0 on this Weaver right now. Mugi is having an incredible game.
You said he went insane last time he played it. I think this is actually stepping it up a level.
Yeah, this is only slightly better. that's the thing, but he's been really good on his Weaver. Oh, he did get the Petrify confirmed there, by the way, at the start of the fight. The Mystic Snake did one-shot the Chaos Knight Illusions. You saw Ramses playing around it very well with the initial Stone Gaze. He was like turning his back, waiting for it to be over, Phantasm, then turned them around, and then, oh man, again. Then there's just a Snake coming in, removing it right away. So they did get the kill on ST, but it takes so many resources for VP to bring down this Medusa. And now they're going to lose the Roshan to boot. They can't get in here in time. This is gone.
Yeah. If they had slowed the Firefly up from Pasha, maybe they could give it a shot, but Pasha burnt it and then just threw the Flame Break. So it was more of the just keep it in mind, but not really contesting move from Newbee. And Newbee can just, from VP, Newbee can just keep pushing further ahead. Hand of Midas pickup now from the Puck, so it's old-fashioned style of build from KP, Blink Dagger, and then just get the Midas around the 22-minute mark.
And the slight switch up that we see a lot of in this patch with the first item Soul Ring. Yeah, it's been very popular on the Puck especially compared to the past. I think we've seen both Universe and KP do it.
Yeah, it was Universe that did it on day 1 of this competition.
I think so, yeah. But there's many heroes now that start to pick up Soul Ring. I think players are taking more advantage of just sustaining their resources all the time. Soul Ring is, in theory, a really powerful item. You obviously pay health for mana, but it has HP regen in itself. So in a way, you just have a constant flow of mana if you don't get harassed. For a hero like Puck, that actually increases your farming speed by a lot, and allows you to be ready for combat.
I'm thinking about the issues that Virtus Pro are having, and it seems most of them are coming from... I would love to say it's the fact that like it's SC who's just picking off illusions, but it feels like most of the pressure is from Kaka as well as Faith. These familiar drops, the Spy Carapace into the double impale stuns, making so much space for Moogie. How does VP now play around this? How do they play around the control that Newbee seems to be finding every time?
I think one additional Blink Dagger could work wonders for them, either on, I guess it should be on no one. I don't think Ramsey should get a Blink on his CK, but I would like a Blink or Shadow Blade on the Dragon Knight just so they can open the fight. The problem that they seem to be facing right now is that their only really key initiation is that Bat Rider, and he is getting hard countered. Like, Pasha's having a very hard time on his Bat Rider. So, looking toward that Dragon Knight Blink Dagger, especially when you have an IO on backup, you can play really aggressively with Dragon Knight. All that armor plus overcharge makes you an incredibly difficult kill. That could maybe allow them to find and pick off, for example, that Nyx or the Visage early on in the fight. And they could set up from that. Even though, you know, Visage isn't exactly the easiest kill, even in the support role. They just need to get the fight started on their terms for once.
It's very difficult. In fact, almost impossible to do while Newbee are doing what they're doing. 5 heroes together. KP is kind of like that guy who's just far enough out that he'll scout out any kind of VP aggressive maneuver in. No one is taking the mid tower, and in fact, talking with KP, gets a Dream Call onto the Dragon Knight. He'll blink out and, well, actually relocated out.
That was a really, really clutch relocate from Lil. Not exactly like he needed to do it that tight, but he did it really, really perfectly. Oh, almost got the TP as well. Went for it. That's I believe that is a frame perfect trick. You have one server tick to do that. If you TP out in the exact tick that you come in from relocate, you get out. Which I think is, what's that? 0.03 seconds? Something like that. Is there 30 ticks per second on the Dota servers? Can't remember what it is. It's very hard. It's happened like twice in the history of Dota.
Ah, that's my line.
I took it. I borrowed it. You can have it back. That's not that good, actually.
Yeah, it's severely overrated.
Yeah. Like a certain player.
Tututa gonna go down in mid. And nothing VP want to do against that one. Obviously, when relocate is down as well, they don't have that that either save or better positioning for the fight. Maybe that's the other thing we could think about for Virtus Pro, where they can find underneath some level of vision so they can understand where the best relocate position is, get into those back lines, kill off the Visage, and let the CK fight away from Medusa.
I think we're kind of getting to the essence of the problem here for VP. There is no good target. I think that's the problem. Like, if maybe they find the Nyx, that's the best target I can think of.
Kaka found a target. Oh,
nice
wait, did he?
Pasha. That's a scan for both teams. Pasha got the hell out of there. So, the problem is, I think if they can catch Nyx or Puck, that's probably the absolute best. But Visage is maybe too hard to kill relative to his fight impact. Like, it's really difficult kill. Medusa is a really difficult kill. The Weaver is going to be very hard to find as well with the counterplace. So who do you go on? That's what seems really hard for VP in these team fights. There's no ideal target.
If you had a silence, I would say the Puck, but you don't. Not an instant one. Solo can't do that.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Like, you need the Bat needs to blink last of the Puck before Puck reacts with phase, or you need to get a Dragon Knight stun, but he doesn't have a Blink Dagger to surprise him with. Chaos Knight takes time to get in. It's just hard all around for VP, and this game is very quickly getting out of reach for them. Really, yep. They're not gaining anything on the map for the last 10 minutes. You look at that gold and the gold graph. Look at all of those green squares and those few red squares in the bottom. That's the last 10 minutes of the game. It's just.
It's
20 successful moves for Newbee and like 3 for VP.
And VP just, I think they understand the position they're in, but they're farming up. Maybe that's how we look the other way. We look at the critical items. The fact you do have that 10-second BKB on no one, he will be able to stand a little bit better in the fights. You're getting the Manta style soon up for the CK, so at least he can't be instantly silenced and controlled for that early portion. And then there'll be obviously more CKs to fight with.
Yeah.
The Aghanim Scepter is what Solo's trying to rush up on the Disruptor. So
that's going to take a while.
Yeah, it will.
But it would be a really good item to get. I think at this point what VP should maybe look to do is actually, on second thought, they need to silence the Medusa. I think that's the play, because then Ramses gets to play his hero. Medusa is such a good hero against this Chaos Knight. Oh.
But did no one see that? Kaka just ran underneath the Sentry Ward.
Looks like
And the range and melee creep turned over to attack him. So he at least knows where one sentry is.
If they get the sounds on Medusa, maybe the CK can do something. Like the problem is, you know, I think Ramsey's build is good this game. He's going for the Manta as well. For like you said, he has more illusions. The problem is they all die to this Mystic Snake. But if what else would he get? They need someone to be able to kill Medusa. It kind of has to be him through his itemization.
Is it him or is it going to be DK? Like he can burn off the mana and then let DK do the last bit of the work.
DK can't kill Medusa with these items.
Oh, right now he's the highest net worth on the field. He has to be able to kill somebody.
Not the Medusa. He can kill other heroes for sure, but if they want to kill Medusa, they need to get her out of mana. That's how the hero works. And none of their heroes innately have an ability to do that, so you have to itemize. Now with Manta and Diffusal, there's a lot of illusion being able to burn that mana from Ramses. What he needs to do is play around that Stone Gaze and Mystic Snake. Last time he played around one of the two. So the best way to secure that, Static Storm on the Medusa. If you can catch her in that, you at least buy Ramses a couple of seconds to go for a target, whether it's Dusa or someone else. You'll get something done in the fight. That has to be the approach that VP will be looking for. But you're right, at least they're keeping up well in farm on the Dragon Knight. He's definitely rich here.
He's still #1 net worth, but only just.
Not anymore.
Yeah, look at that Weaver. BKB, Diffuser Blade, Dragonlance, plus the Desolator. And now he's looking to build into a Lincoln Sphere, which will take away the initiation the VP would love to use on him, which is the Lasso.
Yeah, they have that on the Medusa as well. Also the Lincolns. Now we're going to see the Manta come out next here for SC. So it's still a very slow build damage-wise, but it gives him a lot of survivability. The thing I was mentioning earlier, I'm really not a fan of this Lincoln's Manta-style build, but I think if you get an Aghanim's first in this type of game, it makes a lot more sense and makes it a way better build. I don't know if the Manta, the primary benefits of it this game is that he can dodge like a CK stun, he can get out of the sticky napalm, and maybe if he's really clutch, get out of the kinetic field. Maybe that's the idea. This
is so good for Newbee. They smoke up. That Observer Ward inside the Dire Jungle sees so much. Lil and Ramses, and they've worked out that something's going on, but Lil trapped by himself. The damage is so high from Mugi. Finished the job. Yep, they finished the job.
Good sticks. Almost got out of there.
And now Newbee, with no IO on the field for 28 seconds, they're going to go high ground, but they also saw the fact that DK was burning his Dragon form to farm up some Ancients. So this DK form will not last long.
Just pop the Mjolnir here as well.
Yep. So the creep wave can come in. Are they backing up? Yeah, they're BTing out. They're not going to force the issue. I thought maybe with no Dragon form, they would consider going high ground. We are 30 minutes in with a lot of critical items already on Newbee.
I just think, just draft-wise, Newbee are not in a hurry. I think this Medusa pick is going to be worse and worse to deal with for VP as the game goes on. They're probably fine with just farming and not giving VP any free kills. Should be feeling ahead in the game. And like they have good control of the map. Probably looking for the next Roshan before they want to go high ground. Get the Aegis on the Medusa, then it's like an extreme fail-safe for that hero. So hard to kill twice. I think that's the goal call, actually, you know? Take it easy, guys. We're ahead. Farm the map, get the Rosh, and then we can think about starting to knock down some base towers.
Well, 15 seconds and Roshan will be up. Meanwhile, Newbee, like, they see exactly where Virtus Pro are. I just want to like praise the warding game of Newbee. They're focused on two areas. One where Lil and Ramses is right now is just the triangle camps for Virtus Pro.
Yep. And VP are very focused on that little bit of the river.
I mean, actually, there's 3 Observer Wards around that part.
It kind of looks funny, right? It looks very inefficient, but you need to consider what options they have to get out on the map. Like, the map is very scary. They're playing against Nyx Assassin. You get out the vision you can to protect yourself. Like you said, that triangle area, they want to at least cover that so they can farm, so they've warded for that. But here goes the Rosh. Very easy pick for Newbee. VP can't really move out on the map with confidence. They're so worried, especially about this Nyx Assassin. That's really been the story of this pick for us. I think this hero has a really good win rate in the games we've cast, at least. I don't even remember it losing a single time.
I actually cannot believe it got through 2 ban phases. He's going to steal the double damage rune from no one as well. He got through both of the ban phases, and that was when VP first phased up the bat right.
Yeah.
Didn't ban it in the second phase. They were focusing on everything else, but Kaka's stuns screwed up everything. That gank that was meant to work for Virtus Pro on bottom lane, the relocate in with the CK, and then he just double stuns them. You're like, what do we do now?
Kaka's stuns have been almost perfect the whole game. It's very impressive because Nyx's stun is one of the hardest stuns in the game to use since you can't target it. I believe it's the only stun that is strictly like the only stun of that type, rather, that's strictly ground target. You could say there's like Light Strike, Array from Lina or whatnot, but these like Impales, the Lion Impale, they used to be like similar, these two spells, but got changed to make it more unique. It gives Nyx, it's like a few situations where you could argue it's an advantage that you ground cast it only, and others, most of the time it's just like, I wish I could click the hero.
I don't think anyone else will actually argue that it's like it's more skill based on the Nyx than like on the Lion, just because also the animation time. The animation time for Impale, I think it got made better, but it used to actually be even worse than what it is.
It's a pretty difficult spell to use effectively in team fights, but Kaka's been doing a good job.
Solo on top, he's still trying to find that farm. He's so close to his Aghanim Scepter. He may as well buy one of these items before death, and he doesn't do it. We'll lose a couple of 100 gold, and gives 3-1-1 gold over to Faith.
He's keeping his buyback ready, or just didn't react correctly under the pressure there. He lost like 100.
He was actually 60 gold. Like he got one of the creeps while the farm was going on, while the gank was going on. It was 50 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter. That would have been worth it. It would take him longer than 30 seconds to push the base. But for now, VP just try and keep him out. And Nyx Assassin is missing. Weaver is missing. Yes, invisible heroes are missing.
We need detection.
That's the next one. Actually, Weaver is definitely not missing. Mr. Arcane Rune Weaver pushing the mid.
Midas is missing no one. How about that?
God. Petrify.
Yeah, here we go. So this is as expected. The Aegis in hand, SCC is going to start going here. They could have waited for his butterfly, but I think they just feel like, you know what, if we do that, we won't have enough time on our Aegis. So rather just going to go and start hitting this tower.
No one's already using the Shrine. He needs mana for the fight. Here goes your first attack. It's Ramsey's attacking it. Still has his Phantasm, going to commit it out as well, but the Stone Gaze, already the Mythic Snake did its work. Disruptor died instantly. They were hoping to wrap around the back, but the stuns are just way too good here from Newbee. No one will stand its ground and at least pick off a bug, but that is all they're going to get from this fight. A buyback from the Dragon Knight does not have Dragon Form, BKB, or Mjolnir effect, and SC is still as strong as he was when this fight began. Has the Aegis Immortal, 3 familiars dropping down. DK can be silenced up. If this is a dieback, you may as well call the GG, because there's no way Newbee are leaving your base. In fact, that's exactly what happens. Virtus Pro just stunned and outclassed by Newbee here in game 1.
That Medusa pick just kind of sealed the deal to this game. I think that pick was the best pick of the draft. That's the biggest advantage you have by having the second pick. It's that absolute last pick of the draft that can sometimes just mess with your opponents really hard. So I think in that fight,